let's talk about depression and spirituality. A few things I want to kind of get out of the way. Depression is not some spiritual punishment. It's something that is inherited sometimes. Sometimes you get it through certain situations that might happen in life. Trauma, grief, losing your job, losing a child, like all of these things, so many different things can cause depression. And it is not a spiritual punishment. I just want to start off and say that there because I feel like part of that might come from religion and like this idea that the things that you go through, they're like a test or because you deserve it, whatever else. I just want to affirm you because depression and any mental illness for that matter is an illness. It manifests psychologically and it also manifests physically. What this video is here to do is to talk about how depression can affect the way you show up and the way that you want to show up and the ways that you might not be able to show up in your spiritual practice. So as a spiritual person, dealing with depression has been very interesting. When I was really going through a dark, deep depression, that is when I had my spiritual awakening. And the reason why is because I was looking for hope. I was looking for something outside of religion to kind of inspire me and get me out of the trenches. And so spirituality was really a gift. And I'm so grateful that I had my spiritual awakening 7 years ago. It has honestly led to many different experiences and has helped mold and shape the person I've become today. So when you have depression, you cannot function normally. At a baseline, you can't, brush your teeth. You can't take a shower. You can't even get out of bed some days. You are really struggling every day to survive. And so when you think of a spiritual practice, for some people, their spiritual practice is kind of like things that they're doing, like whether it be like meditations or journaling, things of that nature. But a spiritual practice is also being in the present moment and just acknowledging what's going on around you and also accepting the things that are happening around you, that are happening to and for you. Some might even say things don't happen to you, they happen for you. I don't necessarily know that I can say which one is better. I do think that things happen to us. If you want to look at it at a soul level, perhaps some things happen for you, sure. But I also believe that just because we're spiritual people does not mean that we need to abandon this earthly realm. We can't forget about the human life. Tragedies happen, deaths, grief, mental illness happens, and being a spiritual person does not necessarily mean that, again, that it doesn't mean that it's a punishment, and it also does not mean that those things are not valid. My personal traumas that I've gone through, they've weaved in through my spiritual practice. A lot of the things that I need for my spiritual practice deal with grounding. Do I always do it? No, but that's another story for another day. The way I've crafted my spiritual practice is often related to my trauma and what has happened to me. Even the types of therapy that I seek out. I'm actually going to be starting EMDR very soon. Still currently working on trying to find a therapist. Cognitive behavioral therapy just really wasn't doing it for me. And that's because I have a gem immune and I am always thinking, I'm always analyzing, I'm always intellectualizing my feelings. And so being able to do that is like great, but then it's also not, because you also need to feel the feelings, whatever you're not truly like feeling, it's gonna like land somewhere in your body, it's gonna stay there, and then you're gonna have problems. That's a whole other video about how emotions and our emotional health can affect our physical body as well. The next thing that I want to say is that when you're really struggling with your mental health, that can prevent you from things that you really want to achieve. It can prevent the way you want to feel. Ultimately, I believe that your mental health can affect your spiritual purpose. It can affect your ability to do what your soul's purpose is on this earth. Personally, I have a business. It's called the Evergreen Lifestyle, and I've kind of had to put it on the back burner because of my mental health. But then also, when I moved, I relocated from Georgia to Arizona. A lot of my focus, like the first 6 months, was just okay, learn your job and do it well. But now it's a new year. I want to do better for myself. I want to live a happier life. And part of that is doing my business, the Evergreen Lifestyle, launching it here in Arizona, launching it and really being able to fulfill this dream of mine. It's a subscription box that helps depressed people with their personal hygiene. Because of my own personal struggles with personal hygiene, in depressive episodes, I know that it is part of my spiritual purpose to affirm others through this box. When you are a spiritual person and you have these things, you have these goals that fulfill you, I guess more so in a human way of like, okay, I have money, I'm doing these things, I'm having children, I'm buying a house, things of that nature. Those goals that you might have helps your spiritual path as well. Let's say you get a house, you know, and you're able to help someone, help a friend who's like maybe lost their job or something, and you have a guest room, and it's like, hey, look, you can live here with me for however long until you get back up on your feet. Like that is driving, that is contributing to your spiritual practice of practicing compassion, of practicing love, and also just giving, you know? Not only is it great when you're able to achieve your goals and the things that you really want and the things that you love and desire, but through that, you're able to give more of yourself to your spiritual practice, and it allows you to be able to exercise your spirituality in a much more free way. Essentially, if you're not doing well mentally, it's going to affect every single part of your life. Let's say you're looking at a Technicolor, television. That's honestly how I view life. There's so many different shades and just brightness and all that other stuff. You have such a great spectrum of color. But when you have depression, it creates like this gray tint, like this gray film over that. So it dampens the colors that are already present. So the way you're seeing them is not their true essence or the best that they could be. That gray film is essentially affecting that experience, that viewing, that watching experience, or that life experience. Everything starts in the mind. And how you think about yourself, how you think about others, um, what you think about the world, all of that is encompassed within your spiritual practice, whatever it might be. The other is myself just in disguise. That is a lovely quote by Deepak Chopra. We are all kind of mirrors towards each other. Essentially, that other person that's dealing with that issue, with that relationship issue, or that job issue, they're you and you're them. Like, we're all one. Everything is also a reflection. How you see that other person is also how you see yourself. And how you see yourself is how you'll view the other person. When you choose to not necessarily fight your depression, but when you choose to fight every day to live, that is love. That is self-love. And when you love yourself, you're able to love others. The loved ones that you have, the people that you call friends, family, the people that you call home, but then also the people that you believe in, the people that are completely different from you. I feel like spirituality is the belief that there's things that are bigger than us, things that we can't see, and finding joy and awe and inspiration and love for and of that. And part of that is other people. Part of spirituality is the love of the divine, the love of the planets, and how amazing they are, how huge and far away they are. It's the love of nature and how our trees really help us live and breathe, and how we have, this equal exchange of CO2 and oxygen. It's the love of our pets. Like, the love and that's a whole other video in and of itself of animals and animals, I guess wild animals and then domesticated animals, and their love, their knowledge, their ability to forgive and just accept. There's so much I'm going to tackle with my channel. Hi, honey. Hi, baby girl. Hi. How you doing? Spirituality, I believe, is the recognition of that, is the desire to understand that and express that as well. Love yourself enough to realize that you don't have to live like this, and love yourself enough to realize that you deserve to be here. You're divinely made. Like your existence. I was watching another video, and it was talking about how the odds of you being born at your specific time, on the day that you're born, where you were born, like your existence is like one in like quadrillion or something like that. You're meant to be here, and I truly believe that suffering is not your birthright. It's not. And hopefully you learn to accept that for yourself, get the treatment that you need, and that your spiritual practice can help you with your mental illness, whatever it might be. When we love ourselves, we can love others. Love and light to you all. Thank you.